Probably working with medical to make sure that we keep these guys somewhat fresh going into this back-to-back. I think looking at the loads out of the last 2 games, the travel, going into a back-to-back. I mean, we got I think a good amount of work done. We watched film, and then it was probably 45 minutes of just kind of going through defense and then, scripting and working on, offense. But we just didn't get up and down, and there wasn't really any contact. It was more probably teaching and scripting and detail work.
Got it. What was Coby able to do?
Coby didn't do anything today in practice. Not that he couldn't. He's going to work out after this with some of the PD guys. So he's still on the same exact schedule he was that I mentioned to you before the Philly game. The hope is, that we got that 3-day window, I think, coming out of the San Antonio game.
Yeah.
One of those days will be a contact practice without question, and that would be the one that we would hope that he would get back into.
What about Ayo?
He did everything today in terms of running, feels pretty good. I think, like I said before the Philly game, I think he's gotten progressively better. We didn't have any contact today. Seems there was no limit restriction on practice. He was able to run up and down, do everything that we did today, so we'll see where he's at after it. But I know he wants to play, he's eager to play. But like I said, I don't think it's anything long term. I think it's day by day.
I was curious, just speaking of Ayo, the difference between the second Knicks game and last game was I feel like there was a lot more rim pressure for the two guards. I know it's difficult when you're not able to have the 2 guards out there that you said you couldn't want to, but what did you see in terms of just the
against Philly, you mean, versus New York?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think certainly it was a point of emphasis, for us. I think we have to play like that. I think I said after the New York game, I didn't feel like from an identity standpoint, right? Like New York scored more points than we did in transition. They probably attacked the paint better than we did in the half court. They did all the things necessary to win the game. And that was kind of the emphasis going into Philly of, when we had paint touches, there's a huge difference in what our shooting numbers look like when there's no paint touch. So the importance of not that we have to get there and shoot it, but we've got to make good decisions and be able to spray the ball out. But when we get too perimeter orientated, where we're not penetrating and breaking the defense down, it's not good. And I think some of that can be attributed to we didn't have a lot of potential assists. I didn't think the ball moved like it normally had most of the year. And it was just a game where, if you want to use the word step back, we didn't play to our identity, whatever word it is, we just didn't do the things that we have to do to be really competitive.
I'm not a minutes police guy.
A little bit you are right now. You're asking a question.
Well, because Jordan, like Pippen, never came off the court,
right.
Blah blah blah. But you've been saying you don't like Josh's load, and now you have your first back-to-back of the season. So how do you navigate that? Obviously, if Ayo's back, that'll help.
That would help if Ayo's going back. One of the things that I tried to do, to be honest with you, I didn't like where Trey's minutes were getting, and tried to pull him back a little bit in the Philly game from where he was in the New York game. Josh, I pulled back a little bit. It wasn't by much.
Right.
We're kind of hamstrung a little bit with Coby and Ayo being out. So some of it is what I tried to do with Josh was maybe not so much those long stints of 10 minutes. Certainly if the guy's playing well in that stint, you may do it. But it was more try to get Trey and him in and out and keep them fresh. Josh has got really good stamina and endurance, but for him to keep up that load and the work that he's doing on both ends of the court, playing the number of minutes he's playing, that's really hard to sustain that, I think. So if the numbers do get to 35, 36, 37, in a particular game, and we know we have to do that going into a particular game, it may be, shorter stints, quicker rests. Take him out after 5 or 6 minutes, let him rest for 2, put him back in and handle him that way, because he recovers pretty quickly.
Now that we're already asked Ayo, but as far as the guys who are traveling up, is Ayo traveling?
Yeah, he'll be traveling.
Is Noah traveling?
Noah will be traveling.
Okay. I wonder with this sort of start in this group of guys you have, obviously you've been in the NBA so long now that people probably think of you as an NBA guy, even with your college success. Like, what have you learned about what it sort of takes to get guys to buy in the league with professionals?
Yeah, I don't I think I've been really fortunate with the guys that I've had the opportunity to coach. I think the buy-in part to me starts well before practice ever starts, right? It was like last year, you're sitting there looking at your team on paper, and you have Zach LaVine, and you got Coby White, and you got Lonzo Ball, and you got Ayo, and you just traded for Josh Giddey, and you've got all these guards, right? Someone's got to sacrifice. So these are conversations I think you have beforehand. Even the guys that, would be like multi-year all-stars, whether it's been Vooch or DeMar or Zach, those guys have always been unbelievable to work with. And I think those veteran guys, they have a picture and understanding and knowing what goes into the winning part, but you've got to come to a universal agreement of how the group has to play, right? And so last year, when we talked about playing a lot faster, you're having conversations with Vooch about that. You're talking to Zach about that. When you're talking about having multiple ball handlers, you're talking to Josh, you're talking to Coby, and you're saying, like, this is what we have to do. When I can't have one guy with the ball in their hands all the time. You can't have one guy that's just going to be a high usage player. We've got to do that. And you know what? We were able to flip it. And some of the buy-in to me last year was really, really powerful because those guys went from the year prior to really not playing very fast to being the fastest team in the league. And that's more a tribute to those guys, I think, buying into how we needed to play. I always feel like I've been fortunate when you're straight up and you talk to a player one-on-one. And you know what? Like, you're not going to always agree, but you do come to an agreement of how you need to play and what the identity needs to be, And I've been fortunate that the guys I've worked with here have been incredibly great to work with.
Yeah, Billy, what's the plan for Noah with the G League starting this weekend? He hasn't played yet for you guys. Is he going to get a lot of time in Windy City, or what is it?
Yeah, I think that would be the plan. We have a month mapped out for him. When he can get back with us, he'll get back with us. When he can get down, the biggest issue with the Windy City situation, from our perspective of his development, is really more predicated on the fact that it's really hard to take a guy and put him in just a G League game. Like, he misses shoot-arounds, misses practices, shows up for the game, and he's just out there playing. Like, he needs to understand, like, who he's playing with on the G League team, developing a chemistry, a bond there, going through shoot-arounds, understanding scouting reports, game preparation, what they're doing. So when he goes down there, we want him to be down there to be able to experience those things, not just playing in games.
You were talking about the buy-in a second ago. How pleased were you? I know you talked about this the other night a little bit, but resetting at halftime the other night after 3 bad halves where the team kind of got away from what you would like them to do in terms of intensity, physicality, effort.
Yeah, man, we addressed it at halftime, and it was quite honestly, it was 2 games in a row. It was a New York game, and we had moments where we tried to get back in the game a little bit, but we just didn't do enough. And then certainly that first half against Philly, I felt like they drove through us. They really hurt us on the offensive glass. Maxey really got going. So you couple Maxey's and Embiid going offensively, coupled with the fact that they're hurting us on the offensive glass. We're shooting it just okay. That's why you get down by 20 points. So, for us, we don't have the luxury not to do those things. We have to do those things. And those things, to me, are controllable. We can control what kind of shots we generate. We can control, how hard we go to crash the offensive glass. We can control how hard we run back in transition. We can control turnovers. We can't control the ball going in on the basket. And we can do a really good job contesting on Maxey or Embiid, and they still can make the shots. Like, that's out of our control. But we didn't do those things, and I thought in the second half we did. And, we spent a lot of time watching film on those plays that you're talking about where we have to do that. Like, I'm not saying if we do that, we're going to win every single game, but I know if we don't do them, we have no chance. So that's just a starting point competitively for us. We've got to be able to do that. We've got to move the ball, share the ball on offense. We've got to run. We've got to take care of it. We've got to get to the offensive glass, and then how well can we get back in transition and communicate and talk and play with some physicality, Okoro's done an unbelievable job. He's 3rd in the NBA right now in charges taken. We need some other guys to step up and take some more charges too. Now our team, I think right now, is top 5 in charges taken in the league. It's not obviously a huge number, but it's on our guys' mind. They're trying to do it. So I think the guys have done a really good job of trying to do those things, but it's a lot. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of effort, a lot of concentration, a lot of focus, and we can't have lapses in that area. We may have a lapse in execution. We may turn the ball over. We may miss a screen. but you can't have lapses, I think, in the effort and the energy.
The measuring sticks never stop as you go through the course of the season, but now going up against two division rivals on the road, how curious are you to see against these teams you're familiar with?
Yeah, well, I think, you know, you look at our schedule and the standings right now, and I know it's early, but, you know, Philly came in and, you know, they were 5-1 like we were, and we're fortunate to win the game. Then you come back in a back-to-back where you have Cleveland and Milwaukee, who are just right below us. Then you come back home and you end up playing San Antonio, and then you go play Detroit. So just take a look at where those teams are in the standings right now, right? If we come out like we did against New York and come out like we did against the start of the game against Philly, it's going to be, those teams are really, really good, and we're going to have to be able to, you know, play to that energy level. We just have to.
How are you feeling physically right now? Kind of, can you update us on what the last couple weeks have been like for you?
I feel good physically. No setbacks, so I've been running a lot. So it's been good, just trying to make sure I'm staying conditioned. So I've been pushing it a lot just to build this tolerance in my calf. So and it's been good. So.
Billy has kind of described to us what happened the last time that they kind of lengthened the reevaluation period. Can you just describe to us in as many details as you feel comfortable sharing, just kind of what happened?
Like I just practiced, and I probably practiced a little too long, and I felt some symptoms. So it wasn't a restraint or anything like that. It was just like a minor setback. So this time they wanted me to just be a little longer, build my tolerance for my calf a little longer rehab. So.
Do you have a target date?
No, I don't have a target date, but you know, West Coast trip around that week when we got 5 and 7. So around that week is like what I've been told, but I don't have like a target date. No.
Billy said probably at this time next week when you have that 3-day window is really going to try to push it in practice.
Yeah, so I should be able to practice next week. So I'm back playing 3-on-3, 2-on-2, playing live and stuff. So it's just the way the schedule is. We got so many games in this time period that it's not going to be a lot of time to practice until next week. So I should be able to hop in that.
So what's 2-on-2 to 3-on-3? Is that just with PD? Is that with the guys? Like who's that with?
Mixture of both. Just because they still got games and stuff too. So I basically, you know, you just got to figure out days to get it in.
What's it like for you walking that fine line between excitement over what the team is doing and probably wanting to get back in there and join in on the fun?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm very excited to get back, obviously. You know, just the way the team playing, we playing for each other, and it's exciting. So for me, but, you know, you still got to stay patient at the same time, and you don't want to rush anything. And so the team's doing really well. So I'm excited to get back, but it's very fun watching them play, too.
Coby, with that, Billy was just saying that you guys have had sort of the conversations with the way the team has started, and he's saying that he emphasized to you that he wants you to give yourself grace. Like, how are you sort of approaching the understanding that you're coming onto a moving train, a team that started so well, but you want to obviously get back to who you are and fit into that?
I think the way I play fits perfectly with the way that we play. So quick decisions. I'm not a ball stopper. I don't hold the ball. Like, you know, I just play to win. So, I mean, I don't see no problem or anything like that when it comes to me getting back to it. It's just in terms of like finding a rhythm, playing again. I haven't played in a long time, in a couple months. So just finding my rhythm and being patient with myself when I, you know, do miss a couple shots and stuff like that.
You giving yourself grace, what does that look like?
He knows me and Coach got a great relationship when we're super close, and he knows how hard I am on myself to go out there and perform at a certain level every night, no matter if I've been playing or if I haven't been playing. And I think that he just wants me to, you know, obviously it's going to take time to get back in rhythm because I haven't really played. So he just wants me to focus on that and just like don't be too hard on myself.
Have you had soft tissue injuries like this before that have held you out this long?
Not this long, no. This is the first time. I mean, I've strained my groin before, but nothing this long. So this is the first time I ever had injury really to help me out this long besides when I had shoulder surgery. So.
Is there any sort of frustration with how long it takes to like ramp up and then try to slow back down?
Yeah, no, it's definitely frustration because it's something that's like, it's just different for me. I've never experienced soft tissue injury like this. So, like for me, most of the time I'm hurt. Like I'm big on like, all right, I do this, I check this box, and I'll be back on this date. And when this one is more so like, you got to build strength. You got to, you know, be cognizant of how you're feeling all the time and on the court. So, but I've been feeling great. So these past couple weeks. So.
And the original injury that was in Miami, right? That was like, was it early?
It was in August, yeah.
Like early or late? Do you remember?
Mid-August. Yeah. It was right before Miami. We went to Miami at the end of August.
What do you think of the team starting? Why is Patrick Williams staying in there?
I mean, obviously the team start has been great, right? Like we're #1 in the East right now. I think we have like I said, a really good team. Probably nobody picked us to be where we're at right now. So, like I said, like we're just confident in ourselves and we're confident in each other, and we come out there every night to play to win. And we got a team full of guys that's really good basketball players. I can't tell you why Pat is standing there. I don't know. He's been standing there.
Y'all on a good time.
Yeah, like he making sure, you know what I'm saying, big bro straight, you know what I'm saying?
And do you know how to use the walkie-talkies that you've been stealing from the PR staff?
No, I don't. Beth won't teach me, and nor will she turn it on for me to use.
Just the play style. You've been here the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And obviously our personnel is a lot different, but just the work that it's taken for y'all to sort of get to this. Can you kind of just speak to what this transformation the past 3 years for y'all to sort of develop this play style and really kind of perfecting it is kind of coming to fruition this year?
Yeah, I think like every other thing in life, like it's gonna take time, right? Like you can't flip the switch. You know, like building a culture takes time. Building the way you want to play takes time. Building the identity takes time. Like, and I think, like you said, the past couple of years we've been working towards this, and then you know this year it's starting to come into fruition on the court and in games. And you know this didn't happen overnight. This just didn't happen this training camp. It happened 2 years ago. You know, that training camp and then that season, and then, you know, over time, you slowly start to play the way that you want to play. You got guys that buy into how we want to play and what we want to do, and then you get the personnel that fits how we want to play and what we want to do. And then, yeah, like you said, everything just comes to fruition. You know, obviously it's a long season. We only play 7 games, so we're humble, but we're also hungry at the same time. And we continue to just take it day by day, like Ice always say, and get better. So
I know it's kind of a different style.
Yeah, that's Isaac. Ice. Yeah, that's his nickname, Ice.
I know it's not like everything's not the same from 21-22 when you guys got off to that hot start, but do you feel like there are parallels there in terms of like the chemistry and how well you guys are playing?
Yeah, I think the chemistry and the vibe, just like us being close as a team. Obviously, the play style is drastically different. The personnel is drastically different, but it's still exciting. It's still fun, and everybody's, you know, like I said, we got a good vibe going on around the team right now, and we're all together, so it's fun. Obviously, I haven't been out there, but for me, just watching from the bench, it's been super fun and exciting, especially, you know, the win we had against the Sixers, so it's been fun.
You mentioned the personnel a couple times. Is this roster, is this the most suited you guys have been to play this play style as far as personnel?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think just having guys that, you know, first of all, younger guys that's athletic, that get out and run, and that play, you know, a certain type of way. And that's no knock on, you know, guys that was here in the past. That's you know, they're obviously, you know, Debo's a Hall of Famer. You know, Zach's one of the best talent, probably the most talented player I've ever been around. But I feel like that you know, coach does a good job of adapting to the personnel and putting in a system that works for who he has on the team, and that's what he's been doing. So.
And what have you sort of seen from Josh's these first couple of weeks and what he's meant to sort of really establishing the way you guys want to play?
Yeah, I mean, he's playing at an unbelievable level, all-star level for sure. I always told him since he first got here, he could really average a triple-double if he wanted to. Every single night he can go out there and get that. But he's obviously an important part of what we do, pushing the pace, setting the tone, getting downhill, getting to the paint, making it easier for everybody else on the court. He's been doing that at an exceptionally high level. So, like I said, I told him the other night, I've been proud to watch him, you know, happy for him, you know, everything that he's been throughout his career and everything that he's had to deal with, and still being himself, being true to himself, and then coming out and playing the way that he's playing, proving a lot of people wrong. So you always got to love stories like that.
Coby, has there been concern about your Achilles during going through this rehab, or is it more of a like upper and the calf?
Nah, no Achilles stuff because like my calf is very strong, like through testing it's strong. And then when I get they always do tendon scanning, and when I do my Achilles and my tendon scanning, it looks it's in the green, so it's very healthy. So they really said I'm not. I mean, you can't not like, you know what I'm saying. It's basketball, injuries gonna happen, but they said I'm not in that zone of danger in terms of. And then my calf was a minor strain. It wasn't like a serious strain, like a grade 3 or anything like that. So.
Just real quick, this is an NBA Cup game. I know you've been on the floor, but have y'all been talking about the NBA Cup, going to Vegas? Has that been a goal?
We ain't really talked about that. Yeah, we ain't really talked about that, to be honest. I mean, when we played, who we played in the Cup game first? Knicks. Yeah, when we played them, I mean, we put an emphasis on this, a Cup game. Like, you know, this game means, you know, but, I mean, I think like I always say, like coach, the way he is, the way he coach, he approach every game the same way. His competitive nature is always on 10. So he approach every game like it's game 7. So I think that's how he gears us to play every game like that too as well.